Hello everyone, I'll Survive here. Welcome back to Tomb Raider 1. We're in Natla's mines. We begin swimming, and if you check in your inventory, you will notice that we don't have any weapons in this level at all. We had them taken at the end of the last level, and we need to get them back. That is our mission. Well, that's our first mission. And there's quite a lot we need to do before that happens. Let's crack on with it. The first thing you want to do is find this waterfall over here on the right-hand side and swim up. There's a little spot where you can climb out, and if you head around this corridor, you will find a lever waiting for you at the end. So pull that, and that will open a gate that's in a whole other place that we haven't seen yet, but we're about to see it in a second. And yes, we will be coming back to this passageway quite a few times in this level. In fact, in these early stages, there's a huge amount of back and forthing and toing and froing, so you'll get to know the geography very well by the end of it. Pull out in this spot, come into this cavern through here and into this part of the mine. We've got a mining machine over there in the right hand corner, or at the right hand side rather, but there is a crate here that we need to pull, and this will reveal a passageway that's waiting on the other side, because there will be a switch waiting for us, spoiler alert. So pull it out and then hop over and then come round into this passageway here. Here is the gate that we just opened, and here is the switch waiting at the end. So pull the lever, and that opens yet another gate in another place we've not seen, although it is close to where we've already been. We basically need to backtrack to where we just were. So stay caffeinated, prepare to burn some calories if you're Lara Croft. So make your way back through the cavern and towards the water where these fallen barrels are and the parked boat. Head back towards the waterfall and pull back up into this passageway. I think this level is probably going to take about 40 minutes, but I'm determined to see if I can beat my best time. I'm hitting about 35-ish at the moment on a good day. Anyway, pull up into this new passageway. We could have come up here before, but our way would have been blocked, because you'll see as we come around this corner, there was a gate, but we just opened it, and now we can continue on. So if you do a running jump over to this platform, you can continue on into this new passageway. It's a whole different part of the mine, and actually this area is critical, and this is going to be our ultimate path where we're heading for. You'll see that Lara looks up there when we enter. We need to basically get 3 fuses to fit into a machine in that room there that will lower this porter cabin thing, smash it open, and allow us to get our pistols back. Not a bad deal. Grab the med pack from the ground though, because that will probably get crushed, and even though we don't need it, this is a no meds run of this level. We are being thorough. Welcome to this new area. Be sure to come on through. There are several things you can do, and initially it doesn't really matter what order you do some of them in, but for easiness, let's go this way first. As you approach this gate, it will open, and if you vault up onto this step here, we need to do something a little fast, a little complicated. We need to do some running jumps over these red and white striped barriers, and we need to veer over to the right hand side through a doorway, and we need to do that before a boulder that will be chasing us down this right hand ridge. We need to get through that door before the boulder trundles to the bottom and kills us / blocks the doorway. Does that all make sense? I hope so. Deep breath. Okay, do a running jump over this one. You'll have a boulder right in front of you there. Do another running jump here. Do a running jump over here. Go over to the right. Go through this doorway and go through without getting killed. And there we go. We are now sealed in, but panic not. We can get out. If you come around here, you'll find what we were looking for, which is the very first fuse, 1 of 3. And I apologise for the sound of my water pipe in the background making that foghorn noise. If it happens again, I'll pause the game and wait for it to stop. It's probably going to happen a lot tonight for reasons that I will explain later. Okay, don't get killed here. If you come onto this ramp very, very quickly and then hop back, you'll have a boulder triggered. Just make sure it doesn't crush you. That didn't happen to me but once when I was practicing, he says, lying. If you come up this side, the other one will activate, but you will be able to get by without getting crushed, and then you can roll, dangle, and drop down here. And we are now basically back where we were before, and we can do a return up this ramp here. The gate won't open from this side, but the boulder is now out of the way, so we can head up in this direction without fear of getting crushed and basically wind our way back to the mine cavern that we were in. So follow the passageway around, and if you come to about here, you can dangle and drop down and come back into the cavern. If you need to reset the boulder thing and redo it for whatever reason, you can. You can go back through that gate. Everything will be back where it was. The boulder will have returned to the top of the ramp, and you can do the whole puzzle again if you really want to, or if you need to. The next thing we need to do, though, is manipulate this crate. So let's get manipulating. Grab hold of it and pull it back once in this direction. And then if you come round to the other side, we need to pull it twice in this direction. You could pull it once potentially because we need it aligned in such a way that we can do a running jump over to the porter cabin to our right so we can land on its roof. But if you pull it to this very next tile here, this will prevent us from taking some fall damage later on when we drop down from above, so stay tuned for that. Until then though, as I said, do a running jump over to the roof of this mine hut thing and step on these breakaway tiles and crash down without death. This is going to help us some way towards getting the next fuse. Although, with this being Tomb Raider, it's not all that simple. And would we want it to be? I don't know. We don't want this level to be over in 5 minutes. How would I ever make videos of any decent length? Anyway, I'm waffling. Come pull this lever here. That demoors that boat that's down in the water. We've already seen it, and we're going to be heading back in there because now that that boat has moved, it's going to grant us access to a new area. If you come to this tile here and then step back and slide down and dangle, you'll see that the crate is now ideally placed for us to fall down on top of it without taking fall damage. Sorry, we had the dreaded water pipe foghorn thing, so I just paused my game. Got a feeling I'm going to be doing that a lot. As I say, I will explain why shortly. Anyway, now that we've moved the boat, we can head back towards the water, which is this way. So come back through the cavern and follow the windy path through these caves and up in this direction. And back here, we're now above the pool of water, so we can drop down and then swim to the left. The boat has demoored itself over in this direction, and you can pull up onto it on this flat tile here. And this now grants us access to this next area to do a running jump over, and if you're quick, you can do a running jump over this crate and hop through into here, and you'll be laughing. And there are even more crates, and we do need to do some more pushing, pulling action. But before we do, be sure to grab these magnum clips because we're about to push a crate over that tile and we won't be able to get them, not without difficulty anyway. This is the crate that we can pull, and you can tell it's the one you can pull because it's slightly darker and it's a little more battered. I think that's the game developers' way of telling us this is the way you need to go, Lara. So pull it out once and then push it once in this direction. I'll continue. Here we go. Push it once in this direction. Like that. Maybe we should keep a tally of how many times I have to stop for my water pipe making a noise. Okay, now there's another crate behind that one, and we need to pull this one out twice. So there is pull number 1, and we'll pull it a second time here. There's basically a passageway behind it that we need access to. So there we go. That is 2 pulls, and then if you come round this side, you can pull it out once in this direction. And when Lara is done doing that, we will be free to continue on. And as you will see, as you wind your way around, there is now a path for us to come along and a switch at the end. So be sure to grab that, and that will set that mining machine in motion and clear a path ahead. That's back in the cavern that we have already been in. So let's head back there now, follow the windy crate path back out, and then vault up over this brown one. Phew, so much crates, or so much crate action. Dang. And then fall into the water, and then you can swim and you can pull out here. And then, as I was saying, you can make your way back to the... Can you believe how loud that water pipe is? Dang. I'll see if I can get away with not stopping. Okay, there is the machine that we just moved, and here is the next crate that we need to push. And that is push, not pull. You can't actually pull this out of the corridor. She won't take it out into the main cavern area, which is what I tried doing when I first played this level, and I wasn't sure what I was doing. But actually we need it pushed right into the center of here, because even though we have opened up this path, we also need to stand on top of it so that we can get access to this little room up here where there is, you guessed it, another switch, and there is also, whoops, a set of Uzi clips for us to snag. So be sure to grab those and then pull the next lever, and that's opened yet another gate in a whole other area. And we also get some dramatic music just to make sure we're doubly scared. Before the terror, though, we need to wind our way around into this cavern that, again, we will be coming back to. but for something slightly different. Make sure you don't come beyond where this fuse is at, because as soon as you do, you'll trigger a cowboy dude with guns, and he will shoot us relentlessly, and we've got no way of defending ourselves, so we don't want to do that yet. But as I say, when we are armed, we will be returning. Okay, let's continue on. Yes, we will be returning there eventually, but not until we are armed and ready. The next thing we need to do is work our way back to the other main area near the porter cabin, the dangling porter cabin. Yeah, as I was saying, be sure you don't trigger that cowboy dude. He does take a lot of life off you very, very quickly, and he can end your level with just a few shots, honestly. And I'm hopefully going to show you a method of dispatching him without issue, and maybe without even taking any damage. We'll see how lucky we are. We'll see if the game wants to treat me kindly today. I'm not really describing what I'm doing here because you're probably already familiar with this route. We're just basically making our way back to where we were before, to the cabins with the fuses. So make your way round here and back through the cave and through this passageway. There are the porter cabins. There's the machine room. We'll be using that in a little bit. And the passageway we need to take after you crash Lara's head into the ceiling is in this direction. So if you hop over the tyres and then come through into this cave here and just basically follow the cavern round to the left and then to the right. And if you bear a left here, you'll see the gate that we've just opened up ahead. And if you look to the right, there is the final fuse that we need sitting on top of that conveyor belt. But we can't access it yet because we need to set the conveyor belt in motion for it to be spat out. And we're going to do that in a hot sec. But before we do, be sure to grab these Uzi clips that are waiting on this tile, because we're definitely going to be needing them in this level, and I think in the levels to come. Atlantis that comes after this, I think is going to be a very hair-raising experience. Anyway, pull that lever, you'll now see that the conveyor belt is moving, and if we wind our way around in this direction, we will see that the third and final fuse, or it should be, has been spat out. We now have it, and that means we are fully equipped and ready to activate the machine and lower that porter cabin. So let's do it. Follow the passageway back out, around the winding bends. Gosh, that is a sentence. We don't need to be in this room. We need to be in the next one. So head around the tyres and then through into this main cave area. And now we can finally go up into the machine room. I don't think I've shown you that yet. That's up these metal steps in here. Those are the receptacles on the right that we're going to put the fuses in. And we'll do that in a sec. But before we do, there are these magnum clips sitting on the floor. So be sure to grab those. And then you can start fitting the fuses into the slots. That is the first one. And you'll get a little cutaway to the porter cabin going down. That is fuse number 1. And fit the second fuse into the slot. And that'll lower it a bit further. And then finally, if you do a fancy sideways jump and then a side step, you can fit the third and final fuse into the receptacle. So that will send the porter cabin crashing down. We can now access it. And if we head out of this room and down to where it's landed, we will see that the door has also been thrown off its hinges. So we can enter and luckily grab the pistols that are waiting for us. So we are armed and finally take out that dude. But before we do, we need to do a couple of things. First of all, you actually need to go into your inventory and equip them, because Lara won't do that by default. And we also need to get the very first secret of the level. You may have seen this little passageway that was waiting up here. If you jump on top of the roof of this porter cabin, you can do a running jump and a grab and make it through here. And don't go all the way. If you turn to the right here, I think it's at this spot. No, it's a little bit further up. You can hop up. No, I was in the right place. Lara, are you trolling me? Or maybe I wasn't quite aligned. This is Tomb Raider after all. You have to be precise. You can jump up here though, and there is another closed gate that will open as you approach. There's also this sloped tile here and a trap door, and you'd think you'd be safe, but as soon as you slide down, the trap door will open. And for some reason, the only way it will close again is if you do backwards and forwards somersaults until it shuts, and then it's safe. No idea why, but it makes for a more interesting secret, I guess. But more importantly, that now means you can access this area and trigger the first secret of the level, and you can grab the large med pack, that is waiting for you on the floor here, and the Uzi clips that are waiting by this switch. So be sure to collect those, and then you can pull the lever and you'll hear a door opening. That's opened our exit door, which means we can escape from this secret. And the trapdoor will also stay closed. I think the switch ensures that the trapdoor never closes again, possibly. But anyway, the good news is we're done. We can head out. So if you do a dangle and a roll, we're not going to go quite back the way we came. In fact, we're not going to go back the way we came at all. We're going to continue on because this way will actually be quicker. We can slide down this slope, and as you'll see, we're now above the water that we were swimming in before. And this is good because this is the direction we need to go in, because we're about to go and tackle the cowboy dude now that we have our pistols. And we're going to be praying that we don't actually die and that my method of dealing with him does actually work. It works probably most of the time, I'd say 9 times out of 10, but this is the time I'm recording it. So if the game's going to be funny, it's going to be now. He says, crashing Lara's head into a crate. This does not bode well. I'm going to show you a or mostly reliable method I found for taking care of this guy without too much damage, or indeed any damage at all. So let's go trigger him. Get your pistols ready. He will trigger as soon as you step on this little bit of grey tile here.
Nothing personal.
He'll say it's nothing personal. I don't believe him. Get back here as quickly as you can. Take out your weapons, roll, and get your back against this wall and start shooting him as quickly as you can. He will be shooting you back, as you can see now, but as long as he's at kind of a distance, he won't actually take any damage. And that's kind of the key to this. We want to keep him quite far away and just hope he sort of runs around in circles, or even just stands with his back to us like he sometimes does. He can come all the way up to us. There's nothing actually keeping him there. So I have found, though, that most of the time he does tend, though, just to run around and only shoot from a distance and not really get much closer. We'll see if we're being lucky this time. The unfortunate thing is that, well, he's dead. Yay, we were lucky. The unfortunate thing is that he does take quite a long time to kill, as you noticed, but we're not in a rush. As long as he keeps out of the way, that's good. And the good news is we can grab the magnums, so get excited about those. There is a passageway through there, or what looks like a passageway, but it isn't one. There's nothing down there. It just kind of stops in a dead end. So I'm sorry about that. The way to go is actually over here. And make sure you don't fall down any of these pits, because there's only lava and death waiting for you at the bottom. The correct place to dangle is here, and you can drop down safely to this ledge. And then if you hop back here and dangle, then drop and then grab, you can pull up onto this tile with a small med pack. So grab that, and then you may be able to see a crack in the wall that you can take hold of, and then you can shimmy to the right. And yes, apologies for all the water pipe noises that have been in this level. If you've watched the last few of my videos, you'll know that I live in a boarding school, and I live in a very, very old building. And the water pipe, whenever the cold water is being used, the water pipe does like to let out this very loud foghorn noise. Anyway, drop down here onto this safe spot, and then leap up and grab and shimmy along this next crack. Yes, and the reason it's going to be louder tonight is because I've just come off a night shift. I help to look after the kids that I live with, and they haven't gone to bed yet. They'll be getting ready for bed now, which means lots of teeth brushing and showers and toilets flushing, and that means lots of water pipe action. Lots of noise, lots of foghorns getting in the way of Lara Croft's adventures. But I don't mind. I can edit the video. Hopefully it won't disturb it too much. Drop down here, and you will see across the way there is another crack that we can grab hold of. So if you do a hop back and do a running jump and a grab, you'll grab just above. You can then drop down, grab again, and then shimmy to the right past this ominous looking lava that won't get us provided we don't fall. Even though we are shimmying dangerously close to it, I don't think you can actually get burnt from touching it face on, which is good news. And then you can drop down safely here and then work your way into this new passage and follow it up and round. And I always forget whether it's left or right at the top. Crash into the wall, and oh no, we slide down first, don't we? That's right. And then we've got a left or a right turn, and I'm going to vote with left. Let's see. Is this a dead end? Yay, it's a dead end. Don't go that way. We're being trolled. Or maybe I'm just stupid. Come this way towards the very ominous looking lava and get ready to do a standing jump over to this first tile. And you can land there. And now we need to do some serious platforming. So if you come to the edge of this tile and do a running jump, you can land safely there. And basically you want to land on any tile that looks not too badly sloped, so we don't slide off. And we can land safely on that one, which is great. And now we're going to take a detour for the second secret. So if you hop back and do a running jump, hold action so that Lara doesn't smash her head, you will land in here. But now we need to be a little bit quick. We need to push that crate up ahead out of the way before we get crushed by a boulder that's going to trigger as soon as we stand in front of it. So here we go. Run up to it, stop, press action, and start pushing, and hope that we push the block out of the way before we get crushed by the boulder. It's going to trundle down behind us. And there we go, it's just gone. You need to time that pretty perfectly. And when you step in here, you trigger the second secret. But there's actually quite a lot to the secret. We need to do quite a bit of traveling in order to get hold of the goodies. So this is what you need to do. You need to pull this crate backwards once, and that'll grant you access to this area. Then you can hop up and pull up into this little passage, and then follow it down and all the way along to the bottom and fall down into here. We're now behind where the boulder trundled, and you'll see some goodness waiting at the end. We've got some more Uzi clips waiting here. Plus, perhaps more excitingly, the shotgun. We finally got our shotgun back. That is good news. And a large med pack. Nice if you like them. I think I'm just collecting them for the fun of it at this stage. And now we just need to go back on ourselves, and we can pull up, I think, where is the, it's here. I always forget which side it's on. Pull up on this side, and then you can pull up and out and back around, coming back on ourselves. But before you drop down the hole, if you do a little hop over, there are even more items for us to collect here. We've got some Uzi clips and a large med pack waiting. So be sure to collect those, and then we are done. We can head out. So if you dangle and drop here, we're right by the boulder. We can head back to where we were doing all the lava platforming. So do a hop back and do a running jump back to where we were. And now we need to continue on in this direction. Look for the next flat tile, which is on the right-hand side. So do a hop back and a running jump over, and then line up for the next jump and do a hop back and do a running jump over. Now we do have two slope tiles ahead of us, and it looks like you can't do either, but we can actually land on that very next one. If you do a running jump there, it's not actually sloped enough for us to slide down, which is good news. So do a running jump, or a standing jump, I think I did. I did a jump of some kind. Just do whatever you need to do to get here safely, and then come through this door and slide down. And don't be afraid of the lava. It does look like you're going to plunge and burn, but you don't. From there, you can do a standing jump and a grab, and then pull up into this area with these TNT crates. And you guessed it, that means some more block pulling action. And the one you need to pull is this one. And no, grab hold of it, please, Lara. You can tell this is the one you need to pull because it's slightly more battered. The texture is a little bit different, and I think it's slightly darker. So pull it back once, and then come around this side and pull it backwards in this direction. And then when we've done that, oh boy, we need to pull it 5 times down this passageway here. So grab hold of it and buckle down. Yes, you probably know by now, as I say, if you've been watching my last few videos, that I work in and live in a boarding school. So recording these videos isn't always easy, particularly in my flat that I'm in, which is right next door to one of the boys' dorms. So there is no acoustic privacy whatsoever. So they can hear pretty much everything I say, and I can hear everything they say. But they're away this week. There's nobody in that particular dorm. They've all gone off on a camp, which means that I'm not disturbing them, and they're not disturbing me either. So I do have more time this week, and I think that was 5 pulls. Let's find out. Let's pull up on top of this crate here, and yes, we can now do a standing jump and a grab over to that new doorway. So do a pull up and then head on through. Don't be put off by this sloped section. You're not going to get crushed by a boulder. Not yet anyway. Well, hopefully not at all. We'll see how we do. Okay, now I'm just going to be a little bit careful here because I don't want to fall down into the lava. There are some sloped tiles that could throw us to our death. If you do a running jump over to here, you will see a boulder coming towards you on the right hand side. I'm just going to chill here for a sec so I don't get crushed by it. And now we need to do a running jump over to that next flat tile over there. Hopefully this is close enough. I guess we'll find out. Do a running jump, and then yes, you can proceed through with ease, and you can follow this passageway all the way around to here. We're now basically above the area where we shot the cowboy dude, and you may even have noticed this lever up here before. This is how you get to it, and you can also grab the magnum clips that are waiting just alongside. So pull the lever and you'll hear an explosion and get a fancy camera shake. That means we've triggered the TNT. We've blown up the TNT crate that we just positioned, and that will actually have blown through will have blown a hole through the cavern, which means we can continue on with the level. Great news. It does mean before then, though, we need to do a little bit of backtracking, which is what I'm doing now. I'm just going to very, very gingerly line up for a running jump here. I want to see if I can get through this level without death. if at all possible. That would be pretty cool. So yes, as you probably noticed, we are just going back on ourselves here. So just do some safe running jumps and then make your way back down to where the TNT crate was. There's a little bit of a sloped tile there. And then you can drop down back here and you'll see that the geography has changed. We couldn't get through this area before, but we can now, he says, ish. Get your jumps right and then make your way through the gap. And I'm actually going to get Lara's magnums equipped and ready because we're about to face off with a dude on a skateboard who can be very, very tricky, but I'm going to show you a super safe and a slightly boring method of taking care of him, which, a bit like the cowboy dude, works 9 times out of 10. So we'll see how we do. I'm going to head out into this kind of skate park area and wait for him to trigger, see where he comes from, and then I'm going to backtrack into the cavern. Okay, he's coming from the right, so I'm going to do some backwards jumps and see if I can't take him out from here. Let him come close and I'll start shooting. And yeah, he got some shots off on this. He doesn't always... He can come into this area though. We are by no means completely safe. It's just a question of trying to keep enough distance from him that he doesn't get enough shots on us and indeed come into the cavern area and start shooting us properly, because he can kill us very, very quickly. And we don't want that. We want to kill him before he kills us. That's the idea. Hopefully he'll just loiter around by the door long enough for us to get some shots off on him. And this is actually going quite well. Even though we have taken some damage, I'm not too worried about it. It depends how gutsy you're feeling. You could just go out there and take him face to face and just try and run him around in circles a bit. But I don't fancy doing that. I'd much rather be safe and take my time than risk dying a fast death. And I can't actually work out where he's at. Oh, he's very, very close. He's too close for comfort. Oh, we've taken quite a lot of damage. Let's see if we can still get through this. I had a feeling he was still pretty close. I had a kind of a lock on him and I could tell that he was nearby, and he probably still is, isn't he? Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's eating into our health. Dang, we've probably got about 1/5 of it left. That was more than I wanted to take. It is actually possible to take care of him without taking any damage at all. Anyway, we may still be able to get through this in one sitting. We will see. We grabbed his Uzis, which is good. We now have our Uzis back, and because we got the second secret, we now have all our weapons back. So it's good, we're back to normal. And there is some ammo in this area for us to grab. There are some Uzi clips waiting for us here. And there is also the third and final secret, so we're going to go and collect that. That is down in this direction. Oh, a leap of faith. It's not lava, it's water. If you fall down here, this little gate will open as you swim through. And then by far the hardest part of the level, trying to line Lara up with these items without overshooting, which gave me so much trouble in the Sanctuary of Skion. Oh boy, let's see, I'm being super careful. I'm just tapping the jump button and holding action. There we go. What did we get? We got some Uzi clips, we got a large med pack, and I think we got something else. I wasn't paying attention. You were watching though anyway, hopefully. You can swim back out and pull out here, and then you can climb up these very big stone step things. And I think it's if you come to the right. Oh, come on, Lara, I want to leave. You can pull your way out of the cavern. Yeah, then we can head back into the skate park area. If you dangle here, you can grab these Uzi clips that are waiting on this tile here. And there is rather, one more final set of Uzi clips. And where are they at? They are in this direction. I'm slightly disorientated. I think they're over here. This is quite a big complex place and there's lava everywhere and I don't want to die. Oh yeah, here they are. Here is the final Uzi clips pickup. So if you want them, be sure to grab them before you head out. Okay, and the correct way to go is actually over here. So let's see if we can make it over there without getting lavaed. Nice. And now this is the exit passageway. We can head through here. And, oh, which way? Left or right? Let's go left. Yay, I was correct. Okay, beware of this sloped platform. I'm going to head up the middle and trigger a boulder, and then I'm going to run very, very bravely back in this direction and let it trundle past without killing me. I think there are 3 boulders that can trigger, and they come down the left, and the right, and the middle. If you stick to the middle, I don't think the other ones will trigger, but you want to stop when you get to about this tile because another one will roll right in front of you and could very easily kill you, so don't allow that to happen. There is another little sloped passageway here, but fear not, there are no more boulders, and in fact, I don't think there are any more boulders in this whole level. I think we've seen the last of them. We've now got a climbing bit, so if you vault up onto this tile and then turn to the right, you can do a standing jump over to this tile, and then if you turn to the right, you can do a standing jump and a grab over onto this one. And then you may just be able to see a slight seam break in the tiles, which shows you where this next platform is. It's quite well hidden, but you should be able to spot it if you've got your glasses on, like I have. And then you can pull up onto this next tile. And then you will see, this is the way to go. We've got some new texturing going on up here. This kind of sandy stuff, and oh boy, these rooms are complicated. Let's see if I can remember what I'm doing. It's a bit of a labyrinth. There's a block we need to push here, and I think we need to push this twice. So that is the first time. Yeah, there's all kinds of switches and doors and blocks that need manipulating. So let's get cracking. There is the first one, and we can now access this area, and we can vault up on this side and come to this next block. I think we need to push this one twice as well, so that we can access the room that's beyond it. So push it once and then push it again so that we can clear our path through. And you may just be able to see just to the left of Lara, there's a door there that we're going to open in a wee while. So make a note of where that's at, and then dangle down into this little pit. And there's only one thing you can do with this block, and that is pull it backwards once. So be sure to do that. And what this means is that we can now push the other block that we moved further. I've explained that terribly. The very first block that we pushed, we can now move that one extra tile, because now that we've moved that other block, there's more space behind it. I don't think that explanation was much better, really, was it? But hopefully you'll see what I mean. This is the block that I'm talking about. And then we can now push this one more time in this direction, which grants us access to a staircase, which is on the left-hand side, with a door, and that's the final door we're going to go through. But this switch doesn't open it. This switch opens the other door that's up on the next level. So we need to go find that now. So that is back in this direction. So climb back up into this room and then come back towards the open doorway and come on through round in this direction to yet another block, which I think we only need to push this once in this direction. Excuse me, clear my throat. There's a lot of talking. Okay, and we get a passageway, and that door opens, and we could actually, in theory, get out that way, but it closes before we can reach it. That is actually the exit, or it's kind of the exit. It does lead to the room we need to be in, but we can't go through that door. We need to pull this lever to open the door that we were just at, if that makes sense, if you remember that. So go back on yourself and come back through into this room, and hopefully I can remember where I'm going. I think I need to go down now, if my memory serves me well. So dangle down here, and then yes, this is the end game, people. We only have a fifth of our health, and we've got one more dude to take care of, and he's got a shotgun, and I'm not feeling too good about it. And I'm going to show you a method that should minimize some damage, but it's not perfect. We're just going to have to do the best we can. It's not very elegant. Oh, let's just see how we do. Let's rush on in. He will tell us to say cheese. I don't fancy saying cheese. I do fancy vaulting up onto here, though, because this is kind of a safe-ish spot. If you take out your Uzis, I think we'll minimise the chances of him coming and shooting at us, although he is already shooting at us, so this doesn't bode well. Although we haven't lost any health yet. That being said, we've not got a lock on him either, and I've got no idea where he's at. Oh, he's just up ahead there. And we have already lost some health. Let's see if we can got a lock on him there. This is not, as I say, the most elegant of methods, and you may just want to go and charge all guns blazing and take him out face to face, but I think this is a good spot. He doesn't tend to come up here, and more often than not, he just likes to run around in circles down there, kind of like he's doing now, and that's a good opportunity just to get some shots off on him. I can only apologise for the dodgy camera angles and the fact this may take a while, but I'll be so pleased if I can get through this without dying, because once we've got rid of this guy, basically, all we need to do is a little bit of a mini puzzle, and then we're done. We're not going to take any more force damage, but we are going to die. We perished. Oh, he was so close to dying as well. Ladies and gents, I will see you back at this spot. There we go. I've taken care of him. I actually went for a more direct method this time. That might work better for you. And I got way more health. So yeah, rest assured it is possible to get through this level in one go, actually, without death and without using a med pack. I haven't used a med pack, but I did die. I reloaded one of my saves. And we get the shotgun again. We sadly don't get another shotgun. No twin shotguns for Lara this time round. But we are nearly done. We've only got one final thing to do. We need to open those double doors. And to do that, you need to climb up on top of this pyramid and look for these slightly indented tiles. These are the spots that we can climb up through, And aligning your jumps can be a little bit tricky, but there isn't really any danger here. You just got to be patient, take your time and be sort of precise, or as precise as you can. I wonder if I can make it there. Yeah, not bad. Thank you, Lara. Okay, so it's just standing jumps, making your way through these indented tiles. And I think that's a little bit too close, is it? Oh, let's risk it. There we go. Yay. And now what we need to do is do a standing jump in this direction over to that final slope. And Lara will land with ease on this final tile, and we can come through into this room where there is a lever for us to pull. Let's pull that. It doesn't actually show you the door that it's opened, unhelpfully, but fear not, it's not far. It's just down here. If you slide down and head back towards these buildings, we'll be able to continue on. I say continue on. We only need to grab a key and a couple of items, and then we are done, and we can head through to Atlantis. But here we go. Speaking of items, we've got the Uzi clips waiting for us here. This is the door we opened, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. And there's a large med pack sitting here. That door behind us is one of the ones that we saw earlier that was trolling us by opening and closing and not letting us through. And here we go. More excitingly, the pyramid key. This is what we came here for. And that's the last thing we need to do apart from put it in the slot and finish the level. So grab it and then make your way over towards this pyramid and towards the receptacle. And come to this spot. Grab the pyramid key and fit it into the slot. The double doors will open and you can breezily go through. Phew, Natla's mines. 3 of 3 secrets and 3 kills. We did it. As I say, there was some death, but if you're lucky, you can get through it without dying and without using a med pack. It's not actually that tricky. It just depends what the enemies are doing, whether they're being kind to you or not. There are a couple of little cutscenes that are going to play out after this, so I'll let them roll, and I will see you in the very next level, the second to last level, which is Atlantis. I will see you soon. Bye for now.